Welcome to the castle, everybody. This is Nightsaber Z42, and this is Character Vault, a series where I go through the entire process of creating a character from start to finish in various RPG systems. And whoa, it's Mothership again! Yeah, one of my very earliest videos for this channel, at least in RPG terms, was for Mothership. And so we're kind of going back to it today because this is the official first edition release. Now, when I actually did that video a long ago, that was for the 0th edition. Beta, I guess, is what you would normally call it. But there are some changes from that edition to this official first edition. Probably not for character creation purposes, but hey, it's probably time for an update anyways. And so we're actually not going to be using this book a whole lot because everything that you need is right here on this character sheet. And this is one of the most intuitive character sheets that I've really ever seen because it just says, hey, number 1, roll 2d10 plus 25 for each stat. Follow the arrow, then you have number 2, follow the arrow, you've got number 3, until you get to the whole character sheet in step number 8. So that's right, there are 8 steps. First, we're going to roll for each stat, then we'll roll for our 3 saves, we'll select a class at that point, and then we'll roll for our health. Step number 5 is to gain stress, but really that's just saying, hey, you're going to start with a minimum of 2 stress. Then we're going to take note of our trauma response, which is based on our class. Then we're going to note any skills that that class has, and we're going to choose bonus skills based on that class. We're going to roll for our loadout, our trinket, and our patch before we roll for our credits. And so I would classify Mothership's character creation as being easy in its complexity just because of how intuitive the character sheet really is. And you really only need a D100 or at least 2D10s. So have at it. First thing that we're going to do, we're going to roll 2d10 for each stat and then we're going to add 25 for each of them. So I have my 2d10 here, so let's roll and see what we get. I've got a 7 and a 2, so 9 plus 25 is going to be 34. Now for speed, let's see what we get. A 10 and a 3, so 13 plus 25 is going to be 38. For intellect, we have an 8 and a 4 for 12 plus 25. That makes 37. And then last but not least is combat. For combat, we get another 13, so a 38. So overall, some average spreads on our stats, so nothing outstanding there. We're just kind of your average Joe. So let's go ahead and roll 2d10 for each of the saves, and we'll add 10 to that score. So our 3 saves are sanity, fear, and body. So for sanity, we have 9 and 8 for 17, makes 27 for our sanity. Wow, that's actually fairly decent. For fear, we have, so for our fear, we have a 9 and a 2, and that makes 21. And then for body, we have 8 and 1, and that makes 19. Uh-oh. I don't think we're going to be getting out of the way of any explosions or anything like that. That's really unfortunate. But sometimes that's just the way the dice roll. So in that first video, if I remember correctly, I created a scientist. And, so I definitely probably don't want to do that this time. So that gives us access to Marine, Android, or Teamster. And, combat is definitely one of our higher stats. So I'm thinking that possibly, I think we're going to go ahead and make a Marine. So that means our combat is actually going to go up to 48. Probably should not have used a pen for this one. And we get plus 10 to our body save. And look at that, we turned our weakness into our strength. We also get plus 20 to fear. And we get plus 1 max wounds. Health works a little bit differently in this game. When you actually get down to 0 health, you get a wound. So basically you have like double your health. For the Marine, we have like triple our health basically. And so let's roll 1d10 to see what our health is. And we're also going to add 10 to that. So we have a 3, so our health is at 13. And then our maximum wounds is 3. Normally you start with 2, but the Marine starts with 3. So that effectively makes our total health pool 39. But every time we get down to 0 for our health, we get a wound. Our stress is going to be at 2 for the minimum. And then we get to take a look at our trauma response. So for the Marine, whenever you panic, every close friendly player must make a fear save. When the Marine starts to panic, that's when you know things are bad, and everybody else is going to have to make a fear save. So since we are the Marine, we do have access to some skills. We have military training, athletics, and then we get to choose a bonus skill. So for our bonus skill, we either have 1 expert skill or 2 trained skills. And so in order to go to an expert skill, we do need to have one of the skills that are connected to that expert skill trained. And so we could get firearms since we have military training, or we could go for hand-to-hand combat. I'm actually going to go with firearms. And then last but not least, we are going to roll for our equipment. So first is the loadout, which is on page 7 of the actual book. And so we're going to roll a d10 and see what our Marine gets. A 3, so that is a standard battle dress, which is a AP of 7. A pulse rifle with 3 mags and infrared goggles. Heck yeah, that's awesome. Then we get to roll a D100 for our trinkets and then for our patches. So for the trinkets, let's see what we get. A 56, which is a switchblade, an ornamental switchblade. Hey, that kind of makes sense for our character. And then for our patch, 46, which is fun meter, reads bad time. And then the very last step, we're going to go ahead and roll 2d10 and multiply that by 10 to get our starting credits. So we have a 4 and a 5, which is 9, so we have 90 credits. And that's all there really is to creating a character. So let's go ahead and recap. So our stats are strength of 34, a speed of 38, an intellect of 37, and a combat of 48. We have a sanity save of 27, a fear save of 41, and a body save of 29. For our class, we are a Marine. For our health, we have 13 maximum with a maximum of 3 wounds and 2 minimum stress. For our trauma response, we are the Marines, so whenever we panic, every close friendly player must make a fear save. For our skills, we have access to military training and athletics, and we went ahead and took firearms. And for our equipment, we have the standard battle dress, which gives us 7 armor points, a pulse rifle with 3 mags, and infrared goggles. Our trinket is the ornamental switchblade, and our patch is the fun meter, which reads bad time. We also have 90 credits, if that makes any difference, but it really doesn't in the whole grand scheme of things. So here's a little bit of a bonus for you Mothership aficionados. This is the Mothership Companion App. You can actually get this on Android or through the Apple Store. I have this on my iPad, and it allows you to create characters, although there is a pro version of this app, which allows you to just basically randomize. Sure, whatever. So let's go ahead and create a character. We're going to begin. We're going to roll for each stat. All you got to do is tap on roll. We have 30, 43, 38, and 34. Confirm. Let's roll for our saves. 16, 14, and 19. That's pretty solid. Why don't we go ahead and make a teamster for this one? So let's roll for our health. We're at 13. Hey, that's our lucky number. With 2 stress. We have our trauma response. For the teamster, once per session, you may take advantage on a panic check. Confirm that. Select bonus skill. So we have industrial equipment and 0G. We get 1 trained skill and 1 expert skill. So we're going to select our bonus skills. So 1 trained skill. Why don't we do jury rigging? Because that makes sense. And then for expert skills, let's do mechanical repair. I was very tempted to say explosives for that one, but I resisted. Let's confirm. Roll for the trinket. We have a necklace of shell casings. For the patch, we have Soviet hammer and sickle. And let's go ahead and do a random loadout there. Let's go ahead and roll for that. We have a vibe shetty, a hazard suit, water filtration device, camping gear, and a spanner. Okay. And hey, look at our beautiful face right there. You can also select the portrait or you can roll. So that's who we're going to be right there. Confirm, create a name. I'm Mo. I'm going to go ahead and randomize that. And let's go ahead and complete our character. So there we go. That's our character right there in a nutshell. We can actually go ahead and roll for things like attack. And hey, look at that. We actually got a 1 right there. You can also create other characters. You can do a panic check, damage, or just roll generic dice right there. This is our, I guess, the store where we can just add stuff to our loadout if we really want to. Yeah, why don't we get the general purpose machine gun? That sounds pretty good. Add that. I acquired it. I found it. That body definitely didn't have it. It was my own, my precious. And so, pretty interesting. Like if I just pulled out Mothership randomly, or if I was just randomly in a game of Mothership, then this is probably what I would use. I wouldn't even bother with the character sheet because it's very intuitive. You just roll, and you could just roll for things and just play that way. And let's be honest, Mothership games are usually just one-shots or very quick games anyway. You wouldn't need a character sheet for the long term anyways. And that's actually it for this video. Feel free to leave a comment down below, give this video a huge thumbs up to support this series, and subscribe if you would like to see more. I will see you guys in the next video.